think the first thing on the agenda for the special meeting is the resolution 484. Because, I would have you guys go through this. I don't know how many of you have looked at the expenditure sheet versus revenue from the last meeting, kind of gone over it or anything. We've been working on updating the accounts and getting everything in order going back to 2009. It's gonna take a real miracle to get all of our accounts balanced and get everything up to speed where it needs to be. Our accounts on the software say that we have $100,000+ more than the bank says we have, so we have to find that. Plus we've had to move some monies around, and we're going to have to do that again simply because we are scraping the bottom of the barrel in the administration budget, and we need to find that before we can have a full audit done. We've already asked for an extension on the audit. We've been granted that. Now we have to ask for an extension on the AFR because none of the information was ever sent to Norm when he requested it in August. So therein lies the rub. We are going to have to do something. We're going to have to start looking at the new budget soon. So I would advise each and every one of you to seriously go over the expenditure list for the next 2 meetings. Compare it with the with the expenditures versus actual and the revenue versus actual. And as soon as we can, we'll try and get that straightened out. We've gone back almost 12 years, and like I said, it's going to take some time to get all that straightened out. The resolution for number 486 is a resolution of the town of Fromberg, Montana, for the transfer of funds from program income account to general fund revenue account. Resolution permitting the town of Fromberg to retransfer funds from the program income account in the amount of $10,000 to the general fund revenue account for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2019 due to budget deficits. Now therefore be it resolved by the town council of the town of Fromberg that the town council approved resolution number 486. So you've heard the reasoning, and it's scary, so I need a motion. And Mr. Byron is sending me a hard copy of the.
So we're voting on a resolution to move money from.
Yes, from one account to another,
One
so that
account
we
to
can
another
cover our
account.
expenses in order to get the software up to where it should be and at least halfway reconciled. The bank statements have not been reconciled forever. I think 2001, was the last time they were reconciled. There are copies of the AFR in the office from the last, I don't know how many years. They all have 14 exceptions listed on the back of each AFR. Those exceptions were never followed through and taken care of or corrected. So we're sitting right now in a pickle. And I told you guys when you first took these seats, this is not going to be a picnic, and it hasn't. So we need to move some money so we can get this taken care of.
Which account are we moving it out of?
We're moving some out of the program income account to the revenue general account, general fund revenue account.
The program income account.
And we've had that money in our bank account for 23 years.
That's the 30,000, Ritter.
37,000, I think it
Yeah,
is.
if we need it, I make a motion that we move the funds needed.
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion to move the funds according to resolution Number 486, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so this motion has passed. We kind of skipped ahead a little bit, guys, because I didn't have this in front of me, but I don't, how many of you have looked at the contract proposals for the audit?
I have.
Have you? Okay, because of the enormous amount of money that they're requesting for audit, I would request that we go with Wilfie and, or Wilfley, and that gives us a little extra in case they need to go and do some extra work.
That was the 3,800 or?
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
32,
32.
32.
Let me,
And does it,
Whitfleet?
Whitley,
if I may, there was a question from Tammy at the regular meeting, you weren't here, about the requirements for an auditor to do something like this. And anybody that's applying should be on the auditor list, the
They
statewide
are.
auditor list.
they are.
If they are, that's all that's needed as far as qualifications.
I only
Okay?
sent certified letters to the people that were on the state's list.
Okay. Secondly, the reason there hasn't been an audit, or a biannual audit up till now, is because all that was required, because of this, the low amount of your budget
Mhm.
compared to others, that was needed was that
Right.
annual financial review,
Right,
okay?
Not a full-fledged audit.
right,
Exactly.
but we got
Now,
grant money,
since,
so.
because of the sewer
Mhm.
project
Mhm.
and the state monies coming in
Right,
and so forth, that's why and what's triggered the annual, or the biannual audit.
See where all that.
right, and they are, all of the people that, the firms that sent in a contractor proposal did they do know that we have the grant monies and that they will have to do a federal filing for the DNRC money. So this is what we're looking at, and they're all aware of what's involved in it.
Okay.
So
I just
what
wanted
are
to
the,
clarify
what are the
that.
chances that,
No,
that
thank you,
this is not
appreciate
gonna be inclusive?
There might be a good chance, if we can't get the bank statements reconciled and find that $100,000, we're gonna have to have some extra hands to look for it. And that might be another $2,000 or $3,000.
Okay.
So we're just kind of looking at the possibilities at this point.
It would still be well under the highest bid.
Yes,
Well, under the second bid even,
yeah.
I think.
And the second bid is low, but it's not all-inclusive. And there is a waiver in that bid proposal stating that they would charge extra for mileage, for, everything else that they have to be here.
anything that they incurred?
Right,
I like this one.
so we need to look at what we can do and what the possibilities of extra audit reports are gonna cost us.
We need to go with this first, and then they'll tell us what else they need.
Mhm.
Well, we've already allowed a certain amount of money for the audit, haven't we?
Yes, I've got, I think, 11,000 in there.
So we have 11,000 to work
More
with.
than cover.
This will work in the budget well.
Yeah, it will. And that gives us a little extra room if they need to do some extra work on the audit to file with the feds and with the state. That gives us a little play here and there, so. So far, when I've talked to them, they seem to think that there may be a possibility that they would have to go do some extra work, but it wouldn't go, above our budget.
And is that charged hourly or depending on what they have to do?
It would be the rate that they quoted us, but it would be hourly if they have to do extra work.
That's what I was thinking. Good question.
Right.
From talking with Kristen,
Mhm.
she's also got a jump or started on the, trying to reconcile
Mhm.
and doing reconciliation. And if she has questions, she goes right to Strom and Associates who
Right.
have done the previous
Yeah, they've done all
financial
of our
reviews.
AFRs before.
So you'll have a jump on that rather than having a new company come in and try to start from scratch.
Right, yeah, she's actually been a lot of help. And Jen is really
Were they from?
picking up things and getting up to speed fast. So
Really?
hopefully,
Yeah,
without any more encumbrances, we can get this thing taken care of before the new budget sessions.
And how long, what's their time frame? I mean, if we were able to get them,
We have until the 30th of June to,
have them completed.
uh-huh,
But I mean, as far as these people here,
as soon as they get the bid, then they will set up meetings and come down and go
so
through
they're
it.
able
Send
to
us,
jump right on it.
right, and they will send us what they need. We can email most of the reports to them. If they need to come down and look through files, they will do that, at which point, then they will charge an hourly
well,
fee.
we need just a motion to accept it.
Yes.
She has a question.
Oh, Tammy, yes.
Okay, so we have used this company before, or whatever?
Not
Because
Strom. Strom is
Okay,
one
okay,
we've
Strom
done.
is the one that's done Bridger. That was just my, okay.
But
That was,
Strom always did our annual
Yes.
financial
Right.
report, and the state is requesting that we do an annual financial review, which is a
Okay.
full-blown audit.
okay, so then my next question for you is, just because of some of the deals that I'm hearing, like 100,000, we're trying to find, locate, stuff like that.
We're
I mean,
hoping that's not
and
gonna be a
I
big deal.
understand that we're not required to have an audit every 2 years, but, I mean, I think it would be something beneficial that you guys set up in your program, that you audit at least every 5 years
Mhm.
and stay with the same company.
Well, the reason they couldn't this time is because they waited.
Too long.
Well,
I understand.
Strong
They have-
Associates don't have the time or schedule to do the audit
I-
for us.
I
I've already
understand
talked to them several
But
times.
I understand that, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying, when you budget,
Mhm.
I would really, and the reason I'm saying this is just because I just seen a documentary. And let me tell you what, they were fortunate enough, they kept the same auditor,
Mhm.
so they had legal action when stuff wasn't discovered.
Right,
You start bouncing from one to the next, you have no recourse.
right.
Why is that?
Because
They should have, we should have recourse in somebody that,
none, well,
that fills
okay,
out a-
well, let me explain this to you. This was a
Okay.
really odd case, and you can watch it on Netflix. It's called All the Queen's Horses. A gal embezzled $50-some million in the course of 20 years from a fairly small town, like about the size of Laurel.
Mhm.
And they had had the same auditors all along. They never picked it up once. Because nobody was picking up the bank account. She had the, there was no checks and balances. If you watch it, you go, how does this happen? But it does.
It can, yes, it can.
It does happen. And they did have legal recourse because they had had the same auditor all along.
Mhm.
And they weren't picking up discrepancies.
Right.
So, I would make a motion that we accept the bid from
Willfully,
Whiffley.
I'm gonna second that.
okay. We have a motion to accept Willfully and Associates for the audit bid, and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. We will get them contacted tomorrow. You guys have looked at these letters? We need to, I'll need to sign those so she can get that in the email.
This is just
It's for the scholarship, for the training and the
Oh,
things like that.
just extra things.
Yeah, it's not
Those
on
were
the
already
agenda.
voted on.
Yeah, they were already voted on, just
Right,
letters
Need
to be.
signature?
you just need signatures,
Just
yeah.
need signatures.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda, gee, we're getting done early.
No, you can't go to the next one until 8. If you've
Oh,
got it
that's
scheduled
right.
for
Yeah,
8,
we
you
gotta-
get voted.
We got it